Part 33. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 321. There will also be geniuses going to other regions, such as the Central Region. Including the 3 major colleges where you are, there are also people going to the Galaxy Palace to recruit students. According to internal information, the total number of students recruited by the Galaxy Palace this time is probably more than 10,000. 10,000? Lu Yu was really shocked. Good guy. Wouldn't it be crowded at that time? The Queen of God also obviously saw Lu Yu's surprise and smiled. God, this assessment is mainly divided into 2 rounds, one round is elimination and the other round is the final. More than 10,000 geniuses will be randomly placed in 5 areas, that is, 2,000 geniuses in one area. After 3 days, 500 geniuses will be eliminated and enter the finals. The Queen of God said patiently. Lu Yu nodded when he heard it. If there are really 10,000 people together, it will be too crowded. In this case, it is the best way to differentiate. But Lu Yu was a little dissatisfied with this. That's not right. There are only 2,000 people in one area, how can I radiate my personal charm? This is too little. As if seeing Lu Yu's doubts, the God-given queen continued. There are a certain number of regional passes in the 5 areas. As long as you get the regional pass, you can also go to other places. Lu Yu was relieved when he heard the God-given queen's words. That's easy to say. After using my charm to influence the people in this area, I will go to other areas and continue to influence them. Wonderful. A smile appeared on Lu Yu's face. Tell me more, are there any geniuses worth noting? As for geniuses, the most outstanding one at present is Bai Mo from the Bai Ye clan. The God-given queen lowered her head and answered. Lu Yu heard this, thought about it, and remembered the name. The genius from the Bai Ye clan ranked first, right? Very good, I need to get to know him and influence him. In addition, the God-given queen said the names of several people one after another, and Lu Yu wrote them down one by one. Tell me more, which of the rebellious slaves participated? Lu Yu has not forgotten those slaves. The God-given queen responded immediately after hearing what Lu Yu said. God, the Crane Spirit clan ranked 5th, the Tanja clan ranked 12th, and the Barbarian Dragon clan ranked 37th, all of them. The God-given queen looked at Lu Yu closely. Lu Yu nodded after hearing this. Not bad, they are all ranked high. Especially the Crane Spirit clan, which has made it to the 5th place. Okay, then you all kneel down. Chapter 0248. Going to the Galaxy Palace, the White Knight clan arrives. Lu Yu was not happy in his heart. The slaves should just be slaves, but now they are thinking about rebellion and cutting off my head. What kind of operation is this? You said you want independence and don't want to be a slave anymore. Lu Yu can understand a little bit. After all, he is a good young man who has received New Age education. But forget about your independence. I heard from the God-given queen that they seem to be extremely contemptuous of the existence of God. Not only do they not respect, but they also suppress the God-given clan. This makes Lu Yu not happy. Suppression is over. I saw it, none of them can escape. Lu Yu made a plan in his heart. Enrollment starts tomorrow, right? Yes, God. The God-given queen bowed her head respectfully. Okay, I'll leave with Lan tomorrow. Lu Yu nodded. On the Orion Academy side, Dean Mu will probably leave too. He is leaving from the God-given star, but he still represents the Orion Academy. She will come to watch the game. The God-given queen bowed her head even deeper when she heard Lu Yu's words. God, obey your command. Lu Yu couldn't help but take a look. Good guy. Too deep. And white? Ahem. Without changing his expression, Lu Yu turned around and left here again. The realm has been reached, and Lu Yu did not continue to practice this day. Combine work and rest. After working hard for more than 10 days, isn't it nice to relax? What's more, there is Sister Lan to accompany you. After a whole day of strolling, Lu Yu sighed a little about the prosperity of the God-given star. There are many technologies that I have never seen when I was on Blue Star. When I came back, Ian's face was red and she was very happy. God, it was fun today. Fun. Lu Yu smiled. There are more fun things, do you want to play? Ah. Is there anything else you haven't played? Lan looked expectant, and her pretty face flushed immediately after seeing Lu Yu's smile. After a night, when Lu Yu got up the next day, he was refreshed. After his own secondary development, the feeling was obviously different. Lan looked at Lu Yu, her pretty face flushed. God, I will help you get up. Lan got up and put on her clothes. Lu Yu kept watching. I have to say, her figure is really great. After putting on her clothes with Ian's service, Lu Yu walked out of the palace. Outside, the God-given queen and many God-given senior officials were ready. They looked at Lan, who followed Lu Yu out with a smile. Ian's face became more and more embarrassed when she saw this scene. Ah, so embarrassing, Omega. Lu Yu didn't care so much and looked up at the sky. A warship flew across the sky. The warship seemed to be extremely old and exuded a terrible aura. From time to time, there was a light flashing on it. In addition to this main warship, there are more than a dozen smaller warships around it. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 322. God, you can get on board now. The Queen of God's gift bowed respectfully. Hearing this, Lu Yu didn't waste any words and boarded the warship. Looking at the ancient decorations in the warship, Lu Yu became a little curious. I had seen warships before in the Guantian Star region. I just don't understand how they are driven. As if seeing Lu Yu's confusion, Lan took the initiative to explain. God, warships are all driven by the power of the star source. You only need to put in source crystals or star cores to move. In terms of speed, it is much faster than a spaceship or a treasure chariot. Ian's thoughtful explanation made Lu Yu nod slightly. The Queen of God's Gift also boarded the ship. And other high-level members of the God's Gift clan boarded another warship. God, can we set off? Yes, we can. Lu Yu nodded. He had received Mu Qing's message on his smart brain. Mu Qing has already set off from Orion College. Following her were many high-level members of Orion College. The God-given queen heard this and no longer hesitated. After the order was given, the entire warship suddenly trembled slightly, and a dazzling stream of light covered the entire warship. The next moment, the warship roared away from the God-given star. The speed was so fast that it was unimaginable. The main ship set off, and the other warships also started and followed. Dozens of warships sailed out of the God-given star at the same time. This scene was naturally extremely amazing and attracted the attention of many creatures on the God-given star. And it was not just the God-given star that had warships sailing out. On this day, many regions also had various strong people heading towards the central area of the Milky Way. Orion College, Perseus College, Centaur College. Even the powerful planets or forces distributed in the Milky Way had streams of light sweeping out. The wormhole opened, the warships crossed the sky, or the treasure chariots flew. Countless geniuses gathered towards the central area of the Milky Way. I don't know how much time has passed, waiting for Lu Yu to walk out of the warship, and then I realized it. The warship is already slowing down. In the distance, a gorgeous nebula is covering it. God, we are not far from the Galaxy Palace, the Queen of God said respectfully. The Galaxy Palace is in this nebula, located in the center of the entire Milky Way. Its status is even more transcendent. At present, As the warship approaches, Lu Yu can already see some scattered aircraft or warships around. These are people from other planets. At present, they are rushing to the Galaxy Palace together. Time passes, and half an hour later, the warship stops completely. The scene in front of Lu Yu has been completely renewed. The gorgeous nebula disappears, replaced by an extremely vast continent. Seeing this continent, Lu Yu has a sense of déjà vu of seeing Orion College. But compared to Orion College, this continent is much larger. Lu Yu just took a look at it, and his heart couldn't help but be shocked. Just calculating the area, it may be the size of the entire blue star. Although it was still a long distance away, Lu Yu could already see it clearly. On the continent, there were mountains and clear waters. There were countless palaces. There were creatures wandering around, and trees were towering. The scene was extremely amazing. It was a complete ecosystem. After looking at the continent, Lu Yu looked around again. Along the entire continent, there were already countless aircraft, warships, or treasure chariots parked. Many races looked at each other and kept their distance tacitly. Just by looking at it, Lu Yu saw at least thousands of races. This was just what he could see. It is conceivable how many races came to participate in the Galaxy Mansion's enrollment this time. While Lu Yu was looking around, other races were also looking around. This time, all races gathered to participate in the enrollment, and it can be said that there were strong and weak. For strong races such as the God-given race, many races immediately left silently after recognizing them. As for weak races, there were more in number, and most of them gathered in one place. At least in Lu Yu's eyes, there are no other races around the God-given clan. Because they are still in space, the many races have no communication with each other. To officially enter the continent, all participating races must be present. As time goes by, some races arrive. Lu Yu saw it, but didn't care too much. Until now, he has not seen a race that is too powerful. Just when Lu Yu was wondering if the powerful races were all on the other side of the continent, suddenly, a giant ship broke through the space, as if it had crushed the space, and slowly drove over. This attracted everyone's attention. Even Lu Yu looked over. God, the Bai clan is here. The Bai clan is here? Lu Yu laughed when he heard it. He wanted to see what the first genius of the first race looked like. His eyes shifted, and Lu Yu looked at the giant ship. Chapter 0249 The first genius by Mo, none of them can fight. Lu Yu looked at the giant ship. The giant ship was across the sky, and on it, a man stood on the bow. He was too dazzling. There was light covering his body, and his clothes were white as snow. His eyes seemed to look down on everything, and he looked at everything around him indifferently. Just a glance at him gave people a strong sense of shock. It seemed that, one person was better than this giant ship itself. This scene can be said to have attracted the attention of countless races. Oh my God! The Bai clan is here. Is that the number one genius of the Bai clan, by Mo? It's really extraordinary. He deserves to be called the number one genius. This time the Galaxy Mansion recruits students, he will undoubtedly be number one. Many races looked in the direction of the White Knight clan, and there was a lot of discussion. Lu Yu looked at Bai Mo, his eyes thinking. This guy is kind of stealing the spotlight. He whispered. For some reason, Bai Mo, who was standing at the bow of the ship, suddenly looked in his direction. After looking at Lu Yu, he looked towards Lu Yu and showed a faint smile. Lu Yu was stunned for a moment, then turned to look. Bai Mo was actually smiling at Lan beside him. God, this Bai Mo has pursued me before, Lan whispered. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 323. When Lu Yu heard this, his eyebrows slightly raised. What's wrong, are you interested in my slave tribe? Very good. Lu Yu looked at Bai Mo, and slowly, also smiled. Bai Mo just glanced at Lu Yu, his eyes did not fluctuate, and he directly retracted his gaze. Obviously, he was extremely conceited and did not take Lu Yu seriously. In fact, Bai Mo had the capital to be conceited. As the first genius of the Bai tribe, his talent can be said to be the best of his generation. At least he has not encountered an opponent so far, and has always been sweeping. Seeing this scene, Lu Yu's expression became indifferent. Pretend. You keep pretending. I'll see how you can still pretend later. Lu Yu gathered his mind and continued to wait. I don't know if it's because of the Bai tribe, Lu Yu's side has also increased in powerful races. In more than an hour, 4 or 5 races that are enough to rank in the top 50 came. And as time went on, fewer and fewer races came. Finally, after another half an hour, suddenly a stream of light swept over the continent. All geniuses, follow me into the galaxy continent. A middle-aged woman looked at everyone with an indifferent expression. As soon as this voice came out, countless streams of light instantly went into the continent. These are all geniuses from various races. Lu Yu took a look and saw that Bai Mo had also moved. He took a step forward, and a road actually appeared in the void, which was extremely dazzling. Damn. You have to pretend. Okay. Not bad. You pretend, keep pretending. The more you pretend, the more miserable you will be. In Lu Yu's heart, he has silently recorded Bai Mo in his little notebook. This is simply the best opportunity to exude personal charm. Isn't this the first genius, the center of attention? When the time comes, if you step on him to death, won't you be glorious? Not bad. Lu Yu was satisfied. Lan looked in the direction of Bai Mo and snorted. God, this guy likes to show off. It's okay, he won't be able to show off soon. Lu Yu walked into the continent with Lan calmly. After everyone entered the mainland, the woman waved her sleeves. The next moment, everyone appeared on a square. The square was very large. When Lu Yu appeared here, he saw a crowd of people. Tens of thousands of geniuses, the number is really not small. And each one of them has a very strong aura. Lu Yu looked around, but there were not many people he knew. Lan, I'll take you for a walk. Lu Yu didn't forget that he still had to do something. Routine rules, see what the realm of these people is like, what can be copied. But Lu Yu walked around and was a little disappointed. It's really not pleasing to the eye. From various big guys, Lu Yu can say that he has copied everything he can. Now he has a few sets of treasured clothes on his body. As for the realm, most of them are around the 4th level of Takumai, the higher ones can be 6 or 7, and the lower ones are just entering Takumai. This made Lu Yu feel a little boring. When he was about to turn around, a surprised voice suddenly came from his side. Lu Yu. Huh. Lu Yu looked back and saw Ziying in a purple dress. Ziying. Lu Yu was a little surprised. He didn't expect to run into Ziying in the square. He knew Ziying was here too, but it was a surprise to run into her in the square. Ziying was also happy, but she was distracted for a moment when she saw Lan next to Lu Yu. What a beautiful girl. Lu Yu, this is Lan, Lan, this is your sister-in-law Ziying. Lu Yu smiled. Lan also nodded obediently, sister-in-law Ziying. Ziying blushed when she heard this. Don't listen to Lu Yu's nonsense, he's very bad. Ziying rolled her eyes, but soon she became worried again. Lu Yu, are you sure about the Galaxy Mansion's enrollment this time? Yes, of course I'm not sure, Lu Yu said casually. Ziying sighed, that's right, you are really strong, maybe you have a chance to be selected. As for me, I just come here to hone myself. Xing seemed helpless. There is nothing she can do. There are too many geniuses coming this time. And the Galaxy Mansion has very few places to recruit. Only 100 people. 100 people are selected from more than 10,000 people. This ratio is simply bloody. I am afraid that only 1 in 10 can walk out alive. Those who can be selected are even more 1 in 100. It is extremely terrifying. Seeing Xing so worried, Lu Yu patted her shoulder. Actually, you can also be selected. Ah, Xing was puzzled, it's impossible for me. She was not confident. Seeing this, Lu Yu smiled triumphantly. How about this, if you agree to one condition of mine, I will guarantee your entry, how about it? Are you sure? Xing was puzzled. I must be sure. Lu Yu patted his chest. Isn't it easy to guarantee one person to get in? Lan and Xing followed behind him, serving him tea and water, that was all. He just swept the opponent. I'm not bragging to you, none of the geniuses here can fight. Lu Yu said casually, and in an instant, there was silence all around. What about Bai Mo? Suddenly, a voice came from the side. Lu Yu didn't think much about it and answered casually. Him. I'd better hope that I don't run into him, Lu Yu said. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 324. This is not his blind self-confidence. In his opinion, Bai Mo is just like this, barely worthy of the title of genius. As soon as Lu Yu said this, the surroundings became even quieter. The hundreds of people standing beside him looked at Lu Yu in horror, as if they were looking at a madman. This is really bold. Sweeping everything, Bai Mo is going to suppress it. Why don't you go to heaven? I'm dying of laughter, so arrogant. What kind of genius is this? So arrogant. I haven't seen this guy in the top 100 tribes. The race ranking is not even in the top 100. Ridiculous. The surroundings were immediately blown up. I don't know how many people laughed. What Lu Yu said was extremely ignorant, how could they not laugh? The square was so big, and almost all the geniuses were gathered together. The speed of information transmission was quite fast. It was just a moment, and most of the square laughed. In the distance, a man in white was fanning himself and chatting with other geniuses. It was Bai Mo. The 7 or 8 people around him were almost all geniuses from the top 20 races, with a very strong aura. Very eye-catching. Hearing the noise of playfulness in the distance, Bai Mo's eyes became interesting. What's going on over there? Chapter 0250 something, Regional Draw. What's going on over there? Bai Mo's words attracted the attention of other geniuses. Someone stepped forward and said respectfully. Lord Bai Mo, someone said that there are only a few geniuses in the entire square, and it is best not to let you meet him in the game. Bai Mo was stunned when he heard this. Not only him, but the geniuses from other races were also stunned. Then, they all laughed. What a rampant tone! Bai Mo slapped his fan and asked curiously. Which race genius? For this, we don't know for the time being, it should not be among the top 100 powerful races. Not. Bai Mo's eyes became even more interesting. The geniuses from other powerful races already had smiles on their faces. Brother Bai Mo, shall we go with you to have a look? Okay. Bai Mo nodded and took the lead. Suddenly, a path was opened in the square. Geniuses of many races looked at the 7 or 8 people headed by Bai Mo with awe. Powerful races. They are all powerful races. The Bai race, which ranks first, is needless to say. The races of the others are almost all ranked in the top 20 powerful races, with extremely terrifying foundations. Now looking at the direction these people are going, everyone laughed even happier. That guy is going to be in trouble. He is so pretentious, ha ha ha. This guy, I guess he will be the first to be wiped out at the beginning of the game. All the geniuses laughed. On the other side of the square, Lu Yu's expression is still calm. Laugh, you guys just laugh. When you go in later, when you kneel down, you will cry while laughing. Lu Yu is calm, and so is Lan. In her opinion, these people are just looking for death. God says yes, then yes. But Ziying didn't know. At this moment, she knew something bad was going to happen when she saw the movement around her. Lu Yu. It's okay, let them laugh. Lu Yu waved his hand. There's no point in saying more about this kind of thing, you'll know after you go in. Ziying had to sigh after hearing this. At this moment, the crowd suddenly parted a path out. A man in white appeared in the crowd. As soon as he walked out, he recognized Lu Yu. Is it you? Bai Mo's eyes were a little surprised. He knew Lan, but why didn't he understand where this guy came from? As soon as Bai Mo came out, the surroundings became more lively. Everyone looked like they were watching a show. Lu Yu's expression remained calm. You said you could beat me, right? Bai Mo looked at Lu Yu and smiled. Lu Yu didn't deny anything about this. I said it. Well, you're very courageous. Bai Mo's expression didn't change much, as if he wasn't angry at all because of Lu Yu's words. He saw Lu Yu's realm, Takumai 6th level, which was far from his own Takumai 8th level, so there was no need to worry too much. This made Lu Yu raise his eyebrows. Good guy. Retreat to advance. Encountered a master. This guy, it's not simple to pretend. As expected, the surroundings became lively. Look, Bai Mo didn't take this guy seriously. I laughed to death, Bai Mo didn't take it seriously. This guy is here to make people laugh. A burst of sneers sounded all around. Bai Mo's words undoubtedly made him look more superior. He was completely indifferent. Instead of being angry and arguing with Lu Yu, Lu Yu couldn't help but nod his head. He is worthy of being the first genius, and he has something in pretending. At this time, Bai Mo looked at Lan. Princess Shenxi, long time no see. Bai Mo smiled. There was also attention all around. Who doesn't know that Bai Mo has been in love with the God-given princess for a long time? And as one of the 10 most beautiful women in the Milky Way, the God-given princess is even more beautiful. But surprisingly, facing Bai Mo, Lan just nodded slightly, without any smile on his face. This made Bai Mo frown slightly. Princess God, this competition, maybe we have a chance to cooperate. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 325. He spoke again. This made everyone around him startled. Cooperation. This is very clear. To protect the God-given princess. Everyone couldn't help but feel envious. If you can get the protection of Bai Mo, the first genius, then it is almost certain that you will be selected into the Galaxy Palace. But what surprised everyone again was. Lan shook his head. Sorry, I don't need it. I'm really sorry, God-given princess, choose to follow me. Lu Yu smiled and put one hand on Ian's waist. This scene almost made the people around him drop their eyes. What is this guy doing? Where is his hand? Bai Mo's eyes were even more stern. Looking at Lu Yu's hand on the waist of the God-given princess, his eyes shrank. You are really looking for death. Without Bai Mo speaking, a genius from a powerful clan with a very high ranking behind him spoke up and stared at Lu Yu coldly. The other geniuses were the same, treating Lu Yu as a dead man. Who doesn't know that Bai Mo has been pursuing the God-given princess for a long time? And this guy dared to put his hand like this now? He is not looking for death, what is it? No matter what his relationship with the God-given princess is, he dared to do this, and he did it in front of Bai Mo. He can't escape death. Everyone around was excited. But Bai Mo didn't say anything more. He suppressed his anger very well. After looking at Lu Yu expressionlessly, he turned and left. In this case, I wish you peace. After saying that, Bai Mo left directly. That's the word, but anyone can see the murderous intent in Bai Mo's eyes. No matter who it is, the beloved woman was robbed, and the mentality at this moment would most likely explode. Bai Mo was very forbearing to do this. If a genius with a hot temper came over, he would probably have said something cruel at this moment. Bai Mo left, and his followers also looked at Lu Yu coldly, and someone had already spoken. You will definitely die after entering the competition. The speaker was a genius from the 9th ranked race. Lu Yu smiled happily. I'll tell you this too. When you enter, you'd better hope not to run into me. You. The other party was choked and ignored him. When the few people dispersed, everyone looked at Lu Yu with gloating. This kid is finished. He's really finished. I don't know why the Princess of God would like him. It's ridiculous. I guess he will be the first to die. Everyone couldn't help laughing. Zai Ying was even more anxious. But seeing that Lu Yu's expression didn't change, she couldn't persuade him, so she could only sigh. Lu Yu, let's be a little more cautious after we enter. Yeah. Lu Yu nodded casually and pinched Ian's waist. What do you think? Do you believe me? I definitely believe what God says, Lan said with a red face. This made Lu Yu smile. At this time, a voice came from the sky. Now, enter the regional lottery stage. Chapter 0251, the third area, the competition begins. Now, enter the regional lottery stage. The woman appeared in the sky again at some point, looking down indifferently. Let me introduce myself first. I am the chief examiner of the Galaxy Mansion's enrollment this time. As soon as these words came out, a terrifying aura instantly covered it. It was a Yuan-Chu realm expert. After a simple introduction, the woman did not waste too much words. She waved her hand, and countless light cards appeared in the sky instantly. The competition area is divided into 5 areas in total. Now you start to draw randomly. As soon as the woman's voice fell, someone started to take action. Bai Mo. He reached out and took a light card. Others were about to follow suit, but they found out at this time. Because of the woman's pressure, it was very difficult to get a light card. Many geniuses tried several times before they got a light card with great difficulty. Seeing this, Lu Yu looked interesting. Pressure. He reached out casually, and in an instant, 3 light cards appeared directly in his hand. The pressure of the Yuan-Chu realm seemed to be non-existent to Lu Yu. This. Everyone was surprised. You know, the aura Lu Yu showed now is only the 6th level of Takumai. This guy doesn't seem that simple. Many people looked stern. Lu Yu didn't care about these, and casually distributed the light cards to the 2 women. Let's see which area they are in. Lu Yu took the lead in opening the light card, and a number appeared on it. 3. The third area. Lan also opened the light card, and the number on it was also 3. Lu Yu and Lan looked at Ziying at the same time. Ziying was a little nervous and opened the light card. The number on it made Lu Yu raise his eyebrows. 4. I'm going to the 4th area. Ziying was also a little disappointed, but Lu Yu comforted her. Don't worry, I'll go to the 4th area to find you. Heh, who do you think you are to be able to cross areas? A disdainful sneer came from the side. Lu Yu heard this and turned his head to look over. It was a foreigner, in human form, but with scales growing all over his body. Lu Yu couldn't help but twitch his mouth when he saw this. When will you be a human being and say this again? You. The genius was instantly annoyed when he heard this, but he soon calmed down. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yoon-jeon Shui. Chapter 326. Haha, you are so quick to talk. That's better than you having no tongue, right, lizard man? Lu Yu had a smile on his face. These words almost made this alien genius shut down on the spot. Because his clan really has no tongue. Seeing that this person had stopped making any sound, Lu Yu groaned and turned his head. Pretend, you continue to pretend. When you get in later, I'll suppress them all. At this time, the drawing of lots in the entire square was completed, and there was no more light card in the sky. The woman stood in the sky and took another look at Lu Yu. The two people who performed most outstandingly in the audience just now were Bai Mo and Lu Yu. Bai Mo took the lead to win the cards, while Lu Yu easily won 3 light cards alone. What puzzled her was that Bai Mo was the number 1 genius of the Bai clan. But, why don't I recognize him? There are no men in the God-given tribe. The woman didn't think much about this. You will be transported to the competition venue later. I will tell you the rules here again. The competition is divided into 2 rounds. The first knockout round is divided into 5 areas. The 5 areas are not interconnected, but each area there are a certain number of regional passes available. As long as you obtain the regional pass, you can travel to other areas at will. The second is the competition ranking. Each contestant has an initial score of 10,000. If you kill or force them to admit defeat, you can get the opponent's points. At the same time, you can also get points by killing some strange beasts in the competition area or discovering strange treasures. In the end, only the top 100 contestants in each area will be promoted to the finals. The woman spoke calmly, but her voice sounded like thunder. Everyone has been familiar with the rules for a long time, but when they hear it again, it still feels scary. Just the knockout rounds were bloody to the extreme. In an area with 2,000 people, only 100 people will be promoted in the end. And there is no prohibition on killing. Life and death are at your own risk. It can be said to be bloody to the extreme. We are all geniuses of all races. If anyone is killed or injured, it is a huge loss to a certain race. But even so, each clan still sent their own geniuses. There is no way, the temptation of Galaxy Mansion is too great. Once you enter, the benefits are unimaginable, and even the largest clan like the Bai clan cannot refuse. For some small tribes, even if they cannot enter, if they can come out alive, they can still get huge benefits from the competition. You know, there are some secret treasures hidden in the competition area. These were placed by the Galaxy government. Being able to get these is also a gain. The tens of thousands of geniuses are already excited. Entering the competition, you will either soar into the sky or be buried in the dirt. Compared with other geniuses, the people on Bai Mo's side are particularly indifferent. They are all the inheritors of the most powerful races, and their talents and strength are top-notch. Even the person with the lowest level is now at the 6th level of Takumai, which is amazing. For them, entering the Galaxy Palace is a sure thing, they just need to consider how to improve their ranking. By Mo, I found out about that person, he is from the 3rd area. Beside By Mo, a genius walked over. Hearing this, By Mo smiled slightly. The 3rd area? That's fine. Get the area pass and I'll kill him. Ha ha ha, By Mo, I'm from the 3rd area. Do you want me to help you teach him a lesson first? A bearded man laughed, his upper body was bare, his muscles were extremely strong, and his height was not comparable to that of ordinary people. Hearing this, By Mo shook his head. No, he can only be killed by me. Oh well. The big man nodded. Someone next to you is smiling. Man Yuen, if you enter the Galaxy Mansion with a higher ranking this time, maybe your race can rank higher in the galaxy and surpass the God-given clan. That's natural. Man Yuan narrowed his eyes. I am extremely disdainful of the God-given clan. Still believe in the so-called God. If there really was a God, he would have appeared long ago. On Lu Yu's side, Lu Yu was almost ready. Lu Yu, you must be careful. Xing was a little worried. Lu Yu smiled. This girl is not worried about herself, but she is actually worried about me. Don't worry, I will definitely find you alive. Just remember to hide. Yes, Xing nodded, thought for a moment and handed over an artifact. This is something my dean gave me, so I can escape at critical moments. Looking at the small jade pendant in Xing's hand, Lu Yu waved. It's okay, I don't need it. Take it, you don't know how many people you've offended. Xing slapped the jade pendant directly into Lu Yu's hand. In this regard, Lu Yu could only nod helplessly. No matter what, I don't believe this girl, what can I do? At this moment, suddenly rays of light descended on everyone. The transmission is about to begin, remember the rules I told you before. The woman's voice came and Lu Yu narrowed his eyes. Is the hunt finally about to begin? Lu Yu looked in the direction of Bai Mo, who happened to look at Lu Yu with a serious smile on his face. Then, it turned into light and disappeared. The next moment, Lu Yu was also teleported away by the light. The game begins. Chapter 0252 There is someone in front of you. Let's make a sign of robbery. The third area. In a desolate mountain range, Lu Yu's figure slowly appeared. As soon as he appeared, Lu Yu subconsciously looked around him, but what made him raise his eyebrows slightly was that he didn't see Ian's figure. Is it randomly teleported? Nalan should also be in the third area, but I don't know the specific location. Lu Yu thought and then opened the ranking list. On the ranking list, the data is now displayed very normally. All are 10,000 initial points. Lu Yu closed the ranking list and didn't pay attention to it anymore. It's just the first one. If you want to get it, it's just a very easy thing. The most urgent task now is to find Sister Lan. Being so obedient, Lu Yu didn't want her to encounter any unexpected trouble. After observing the surroundings, Lu Yu found no life. The place where I sit is on a continuous mountain. The peaks are all bare and there doesn't seem to be any green plants. After climbing to the top of one of the mountains, Lu Yu looked around and saw the terrain clearly. In front of the mountains is a continuous forest. On the back, there is a grassland. The mountains themselves are nothing. This made Lu Yu think about it. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 327. Speaking of which, should I go to the forest or the grassland? It's a bit difficult to choose. At this moment, a battle wave suddenly broke out in the distant forest. One by one, the big trees fell directly. It seems that several people are fighting together. Is there anyone? Lu Yu was slightly surprised. Good guy, I ran into someone as soon as I came in. It's okay. Lu Yu didn't hesitate and disappeared on the mountain in an instant. In the forest, Lu Yu's figure was galloping. At his speed, it only took a moment to reach the forest. After arriving, Lu Yu saw the situation clearly. 3 young men were fighting each other, and they seemed to be fighting for something. Damn it! This green crystal stone is mine. Don't even think about it. Hee, both of you will die. The 3 were obviously geniuses from different races and didn't know each other. Right now, they were fighting fiercely because of a piece of green stone half exposed on the ground. Everyone wanted to get the stone on the ground, but no one could get it. Lu Yu was watching from the side, his eyes turned interesting. Green crystal, a treasure that can be melted into weapons to improve the grade of weapons. He knew this. A piece of green crystal is very expensive. It costs 10 star cores, and there may not be a market for it. This thing is dispensable for Lu Yu, after all, he is not short of money. What he cares more about is the points of the three people. 30,000 points? A good start is not bad. Thinking of this, Lu Yu simply walked out carelessly. Hello. The three people were originally fighting fiercely for the green crystal. When they saw Lu Yu coming out, they were all stunned. Do you know him? No. He is not a genius from the top 100 powerful clans. After looking at each other, the three of them actually attacked Lu Yu in tacit understanding. Kill this guy first. Lu Yu. Good guy. I didn't say anything, you guys just came up and attacked. Then don't blame me for being rude. Kill them all. Lu Yu smiled slightly, without even taking out the red electric gun, and then threw a punch. Tianxiao fist. This was also the first time Lu Yu used it. He just threw a punch, and the golden blood behind him roared instantly, with terrifying power. The three people immediately realized that something was wrong, but it was too late to stop at this time, so they could only bite the bullet. The next moment, Lu Yu threw a punch. Puff. The three people didn't even have time to stop, and flew backwards, spitting blood and hitting the tree trunk one by one. One of the young men looked at Lu Yu in horror. Although the realm of the three of them was not high, they were all Takumi 3. The three of them joined forces to attack, but they were seriously injured by this person's punch. The key is that this guy doesn't look like a genius from a strong clan. Lu Yu retracted his fist and looked at the three people in front of him helplessly. Let's talk it out if you have something to say. It's not fair for the three of you to join forces to bully me. Three young men? We three are bullying you. You are bullying us three. The three of them watched Lu Yu put away the blue crystal stone, but they dared not say a word. There was no way, this guy's strength was too scary. If you say one more word, you might be beaten to death. Ask you a question, have you seen the princess given by God? Lu Yu asked with a smile. In response, the three young men shook their heads. No. Didn't see it? Lu Yu touched his chin and laughed again. Now I will give you another choice, do you choose to die or admit defeat? No, if you admit defeat, will you be eliminated? Lu Yu suddenly thought of a serious question. Killing is definitely not allowed, killing yourself is too much of a loss. But admitting defeat doesn't seem to work either. If you admit defeat, you will be eliminated, and you will still lose. The three young men were already confused. They saw that Lu Yu wanted the points on them. But they didn't expect why Lu Yu asked such a question now. If you admit defeat, you will definitely be eliminated. Senior, if you admit defeat, you will be eliminated. Please let us go. You have taken all the cyan crystals, one of them cried. This made Lu Yu even more uncomfortable. No way. In this way, how can his robbery, no, leaks cutting business continue? If people are eliminated, they will be gone. You can't kill them. Otherwise, sign a document. It makes sense. Sign a document and bet something important on yourself. It's okay. Hey, if you three say so, I won't kill you. Lu Yu's words made the three people feel relieved instantly, but before they could be happy, their faces changed instantly. It's okay not to kill, but your points will still not be able to escape. In addition, you have to bet something with me, and redeem it with star cores after you go out. Lu Yu's words made the three people's faces change drastically. What kind of operation is this? Let us admit defeat, and we have to bet something with him, and redeem it with star cores after we go out? No, this is absolutely not possible. One of them objected immediately, but he didn't say much, and a gun was pointed at his heart. What did you just say? Sorry, I didn't hear it clearly. Lu Yu dug his ears, with a puzzled expression on his face. The young man rolled his Adam's apple, and a flattering smile appeared on his face. "Senior, can't you let us go?" "No." In the end, the three of them obediently wrote a receipt and a contract with Lu Yu, and also mortgaged some things. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 328. When it was the last person's turn, Lu Yu hesitated. "Are you sure you really don't have anything?" "Senior, my clan is too poor, we really don't have anything." The young man had a bitter face. Lu Yu nodded when he heard this. "That's true, but I have a solution." "Come on, take off your clothes, I'll take a few photos. If you don't take photos, you know." Lu Yu smiled. "Young man? This is all right?" In the end, the last person also signed the document. These documents have legal effect. If they are not returned, Lu Yu has the right to apply for sanctions from the Interstellar Court. Of course, Lu Yu still has to pledge something for insurance. After all, it's not good to run into a deadbeat. As for the price, Lu Yu felt that he was very fair. "You are all geniuses from different clans, 300 star cores per person, not expensive, right?" Lu Yu felt that it was really not expensive. Watching the three people being taken away in the light, Lu Yu waved enthusiastically. "Friends, see you next time." "Three people. See you forever." As the three people left, Lu Yu's points instantly increased by 30,000. What surprised Lu Yu a little was that his 40,000 points were only ranked 10th in the third area. Not very good. Lu Yu smacked his lips and walked away. What Lu Yu didn't know was that everything he did was seen by the leaders of many races. Chapter 0253. This is a habitual offender, Underwater Secrets. Galaxy Palace Hall. The leaders of many races have been invited here at this moment. The hall is large enough to accommodate the leaders of all races. In the middle of the hall, the pictures of the 5 areas all appeared. And now, the picture of the third area is Lu Yu, who is walking. Everything he just did was seen by the leaders of many races. Isn't this boy's behavior too rampant? A certain race leader frowned and spoke. In addition, the races where the 3 young men belonged were even more furious. Originally, as the first 3 people to discover the secret treasure in the third area, they were very popular. But no one expected Lu Yu to suddenly appear. What was even more unexpected was that he actually robbed people on the way. Really robbed? He actually asked everyone to pay 300 star cores after leaving. The high-level officials of countless races looked at Lu Yu, and had never seen such behavior. And the key point is, what Lu Yu did not violate the rules of the game, and was in accordance with the regulations of the Interstellar Court. The robbed races need to pay this amount of star cores. Not to mention that Lu Yu still had some items pledged there. This made these races look very ugly. The Queen of God looked at Lu Yu with a strange look. "God, it seems that this is completely a game." She whispered and looked at the other end of the screen. That was Ian's camera, not very far from God. At the other end, Mu Qing looked at Lu Yu's screen and was also at a loss whether to laugh or cry. "This little guy, I can't let anyone feel at ease wherever he goes." At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. "Galaxy Live Broadcast Access, channel diversion in progress." At the moment this voice sounded, countless creatures rushed in. Galaxy House enrollment, this is definitely a big event among big events. It has attracted the attention of countless creatures. Especially those tribes with geniuses participating in the competition. At this time, the third area was still playing the replay of Lu Yu's previous robbery. Many people came in and saw it as soon as they saw it. What the hell is this guy doing? I'm robbing the geniuses of those 3 races, so pitiful. It's over. Comments were flying all over the live broadcast room, and Lu Yu quickly attracted the attention of everyone in the third area. There's no way, the operation is too strange. Especially the last part of taking pictures, it's even more jaw-dropping. Which tribe is this genius from? This is too awesome. I don't know, it shouldn't be one of the top 100 tribes. I found it out, he should be from Orion College. In the live broadcast room, someone soon found Lu Yu's information. It turned out to be from Orion Academy. And as the information continued to be dug, many of Lu Yu's old stories were found. Oh my god, this is not the first time he has done this kind of thing. You mean, this is a veteran, a repeat offender? Why do I suddenly feel a little uneasy? You worry too much, he is just a guy from the cantilever, there are many geniuses who can suppress him. Someone in the live broadcast room said that there is no need to worry too much. In the hall, the leaders of many races looked at those comments and understood something in their hearts. Orion Academy? No wonder I don't know him, I worried in vain before. The genius of my race is fine. The leaders of many races were relieved, and the screen of the third area also turned to another person. Menyuan. He is now the first in the third area. Less than an hour after the opening, the points have reached 100,000. And the ranking of his own race is 37th. Compared with Lu Yu, this can be said to have attracted the attention of many people. At the scene, Lu Yu was still busy looking for someone. He opened the leaderboard and took a look. In just a short moment, his ranking dropped again. It dropped to 15. Lu Yu was not in a hurry about this. The total points remained the same, there were just fewer people. While Lu Yu was thinking, there was another battle fluctuation in front of him. Oh my goodness! He ran into someone again. Lu Yu moved forward at a high speed, and the next moment he appeared next to a lake hidden in the jungle. This lake was very large. At a glance, it covered at least dozens of miles. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 329. And in the lake, a pretty figure was fighting with a giant python writhing in the lake. Lu Yu breathed a sigh of relief after seeing it. Found it? With a slight thought in his mind, Lu Yu disappeared on the shore, and when he reappeared, he was already beside the girl. When the girl Lan noticed someone appearing beside her, she scolded and was about to take action, but Lu Yu directly grabbed her hand. What's wrong, you want to hit me too? God, Ian's eyes were obviously filled with surprise, and he hugged Lu Yu directly. Lu Yu felt the softness in his arms and was in a good mood. The giant python was still swimming in the water. Seeing this scene, it rushed out of the water in an instant, opened its ferocious mouth, and swallowed the two of them in one gulp. Lu Yu looked puzzled when he saw this. What's wrong, you single snake is jealous. Look at me holding a girl in my arms. Lu Yu casually swung out a sky fist, and with golden energy and blood boiling all over his body, the giant python was knocked away with one punch. Roar! The giant python roared, and the sound was no longer like an ordinary snake. God, this giant python is not simple. Needless to say, Lu Yu also realized that something was wrong. There is actually a small raised meat bag on the head of this giant python. As it became furious, the meat bag was broken open, and a 3-inch long horn emerged from it. Good guy. Lu Yu was shocked. This giant python can no longer be called a giant python, it has to be called a dragon snake. There is a tendency to turn into a dragon. Although Lu Yu didn't know whether creatures like dragons existed, Qiao did exist. And the bloodline is very powerful. This dragon snake is probably not easy to deal with right now. Lan was also a little worried. God, This snake is guarding a secret treasure at the bottom of the lake. Let's wait until it calms down before taking action. Guarding the secret? Lu Yu's eyes were interesting and expectant. It is definitely not easy to be protected by such a dragon snake at the 6th level of Takumi. It will definitely not be comparable to something like lapis lazuli. Interesting. Leave this to me. You can step back. Lu Yu squeezed Ian's soft little hand. After hearing this, Lan didn't say anything more. God, be careful. Lu Yu looked at the dragon snake that had dived and swam under the water, with a trace of amusement in his eyes. Little brother, you don't want to fight me on the water? I have to force you out today. The red electric gun appeared in Lu Yu's hand at some unknown time. The next moment, Lu Yu fired his gun brazenly. The red electric gun carries the power of the sun, and every time it hits, a lake evaporates. And when it falls, the water surface will explode. Humph, I'm going to fry fish today. Lu Yu fired several more shots. He didn't believe it, this dragon snake could still bear it. Sure enough, as Lu Yu kept taking action, the snake kept escaping under the water, and finally couldn't help but roar and swallowed Lu Yu again. You're the one I've been waiting for. Break the sky. Lu Yu didn't hesitate at all and stabbed out directly. Boom. The first move of the 9 sky-shattering spears was activated, and the gun in Lu Yu's hand burst out with murderous intent, as if the surroundings were transformed into a bloody battlefield. The force of the shot was so powerful that even the space was faintly torn apart. When the giant python saw this, he felt something was wrong, but it was too late to regret it. How amazing is the power of Lu Yu's full-strength shot now? It penetrated directly through the snake's head. Boom! Lu Yu was killed with one shot. The snake's body fell weakly, and its body dozens of meters high splashed down large splashes of water on the lake. The blood dyed half of the lake red. God, it's so awesome. Ian's face turned red with excitement. I couldn't even defeat a snake that didn't have its bloodline activated. God came over and killed it with one shot. Lu Yu was very pleased to see Lan with stars in his eyes. Alas, invincibility is so lonely. With a calm smile, Lu Yu led Lan towards the water. The water escaping ability opened up, and all the lake water that was originally immersed in was instantly drained away. Lu Yu took a look and saw that there were many skeletons at the bottom of the lake, all of which were obviously killed by the snake. Lu Yu didn't care about this. After searching in the water, Lu Yu quickly discovered something. There is a hole at the bottom of the water. It's like a cave, located 100 meters deep underwater. A light curtain separated the lake. Without hesitation, Lu Yu led Lan into it. Entering the cave, everything around him instantly became dry. A fire appeared in his hand, and Lu Yu could see the entire water hole clearly. God, look there. Lan excitedly pointed to a wooden box placed next to a skeleton. Lu Yu walked over and picked up the box. A bit heavy. I wonder what good stuff there is in it. With that said, Lu Yu opened the box. Chapter 0254 Regional Broadcast, this guy is going to be in trouble. The wooden box was opened, and a jade stone flowing with fiery red light lay quietly inside. This is fire essence crystal. Lan was instantly surprised when he saw this crystal. Fire element crystal. It is a very powerful and rare treasure, and its effects are unparalleled. You can increase the level of fire powers. This also made Lu Yu a little excited. After all, he had the power of Hung Yang, and it was SSS. However, after Lu Yu checked it twice, he was a little disappointed. It was just an intermediate fire element crystal, and it couldn't upgrade his SSS level talent to the extraordinary level. Do you have a fire talent? Lu Yu looked at Lan. He had scanned it long before, and Lan had it. Now he asked, waiting for her to say. God, yes. Well, then this fire element crystal is for you. Lu Yu threw it to Lan. Compared to the intermediate level, Lu Yu wanted the advanced level more, and he didn't know if there was any inside the Galaxy Mansion. As for copying and upgrading, he hadn't considered it. It was a waste of copying points. This kind of thing could be bought with star cores, and it was just a matter of robbing a few more geniuses. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 330. Lu Yu pondered. Lan was holding the fire element crystal, a little at a loss. God, this. I'll give it to you, but aren't you going to repay me? Lu Yu smiled. Yeah, can I kiss you? Lan looked at Lu Yu expectantly, and kissed him the next moment. Lu Yu praised this. Just call me Lu Shen after you go out, no need to continue calling me God. Lu Yu warned that he didn't know whether there was a live broadcast or not, so it was better to be safe. Lan nodded to indicate that he knew. Before Lu Yu and Lan walked out of the underground water cave, a voice sounded the next moment. The contestant found a high-level secret treasure, which has been opened and is being broadcasted in the area. At the moment this voice sounded, Lu Yu's location was sent to every contestant. Everyone was surprised. High-level secret treasure, discovered and opened. Hiss. You know, high-level secret treasure is one of the best secret treasures besides the best secret treasures. It's only been half a day since the opening, and someone has already found it first. Everyone looked at Lu Yu's position and couldn't help licking their lips. I wonder which guy found it? This guy is really unlucky, he's going to be miserable. How stupid, it's so early. Countless contestants looked greedy at this moment. Some people have already headed in the direction of Lu Yu. In the Galaxy Live room, everyone was also stunned. After Lu Yu entered the bottom of the lake, the live screen stopped on the lake. But no one expected that what Lu Yu found was actually a high-level secret treasure. Oh my god, this is a fortune. Send you ahead, his location has been broadcasted in the area, everyone knows that he has something good in his hand. This guy is finished. Just sit back and watch the show, there will definitely be a lot of people coming later. Countless people gloated. Lu Yu's robbery operation before really shocked many people. Now, he wanted to see what Lu Yu would do this time. In the hall, many high-level officials were also surprised. Of the 5 areas, the third area was the first to discover a high-level secret treasure. And, is this person Lu Yu? Oh, this kid is in trouble, the genius of my clan has gone there. My clan too. This guy can defeat the 6th level dragon snake of Takumai, his strength is really good, but that's all. ZZZZ, a genius ranked 57th in the race has already rushed over, this guy's good days are over. Many high-level officials looked interesting. In the picture, it can be clearly seen. A man in black clothes walked towards the coordinate location expressionlessly. The 57th ranked genius from the Yuntang clan. The realm is even the 6th level Takumai. Mu Qing's expression instantly tensed up. She didn't expect that Lu Yu's luck was so good that he found a high-level secret treasure. And now, at least hundreds of people are rushing towards Lu Yu's location. It's hard to say that Lu Yu is not in danger now. Mu Qing was worried, while the God-given queen, for some reason, had a smile on her face. A group of ants dare to offend God. She whispered, without any worries at all. Around, some of the tribe's high-ranking officials turned their heads from time to time to look at the God-given queen. They were somewhat curious. Why is the God-given princess with this guy? On site. Lu Yu was stunned for 2 seconds when he heard this regional broadcast. He was broadcasted by the regional broadcast? There is such a good thing? Lu Yu's expression suddenly became a little happy. He was still thinking about how to find someone, but now it's good, there is no need to find someone. Most likely someone will come to give themselves a head. Oh, this competition rule is really considerate. Lu Yu calmed down. Seeing that Lu Yu's expression did not change, Lan was slightly relieved. Lu Shen, are we going out now? Of course we have to go out. The dragon snake outside can't be wasted. Lu Yu took Ian's hand and came out from the bottom of the water carelessly. As soon as Lu Yu appeared, the camera captured his figure. But what made everyone confused was, after Lu Yu came out, he didn't run away at first, but dragged the dragon snake to the shore. Then, he was cutting meat with a knife. Lan, let me tell you, the most tender part of eating snakes is the snake's waist. Because the spine needs to exert force all year round, the surrounding muscles have been well exercised. Look, for example, this piece of meat, crystal clear, full and elastic, is the best choice for barbecue. Look at the key to making snake soup, it is near the lower half, there is a lot of fat here, and oil can be boiled out when stewing soup. Put a few pieces of fat in when stewing, remove the fat, sprinkle some seasoning, and the taste is amazing. Lu Yu explained to Lan while cutting meat with a knife. Ian's face was blank when she heard it, and she nodded. She knew that Lu Yu was a good cook, but she didn't know there were so many tricks involved. Lu Shen is so amazing. Ian's eyes were full of admiration. Lu Yu looked calm. That's nothing. I'll show you what real cooking is. As he said that, Lu Yu casually found some firewood and started to make a fire. There are also some particularities in making a fire. If you use supernatural powers to grill, it will be very woody. The best barbecue is grilled with fruit wood. Brush oil while grilling, and the taste is great. As he said that, Lu Yu skewered small pieces of snake meat and grilled them on the fire. While grilling, he took out a lot of colorful seasonings from his space wrist and poured them on it. In the live broadcast room, it was already quiet. What is this guy doing? Looks like he is cooking. No, he is not running away now, cooking here, this is a competition. I almost thought I came to a travel live broadcast room, is he not afraid of death? In the live broadcast room, a lot of viewers were stunned. In the hall, many high-level officials were not much better. They looked at Lu Yu's skillful technique and were a little suspicious. This is not the first time this guy has done this.